And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport for the final rugby match of the weekend in South Africa. The Griquas taking on the Lions over at Emirates Airline Park in the Currie Cup. And we just saw an absolute masterclass by the Pumas, who have just hammered Griffins by about 60-odd points. So over to the Lions and the Griquas for hopefully an entertaining match to end proceedings. And I'll tell you what, the Currie Cup's been nothing if not entertaining so far this season. And yes, it's a competition under a lot of scrutiny at the moment. It's got a lot of work to do in terms of being able to get it to being a tournament that we can all get excited about. But it's produced some really entertaining rugby. As I said, 64-6 was the points between Griffins and the Pumas. So 58-point win there for the defending champions. But in terms of the actual Currie Cup, I think we've actually seen some pretty good games and lots of entertainment as well. And hopefully we're going to see a similar thing today. And it's not a bad line side that has been picked. And the Greek was obviously the runners-up from last season. So they'll be looking to try and make it as difficult as possible. In fact, they actually are the odds-on favourite for this game. And if you look at the log, it's interesting that they are considered favourites, given the fact that the Lions are actually further up in the log than they are. If we look at the table right now, Cheetahs having to topping it. But Pumas will go back to the top after that win. They'll go there on points difference because they'll get a bonus point victory there. Moves to 25, which will equal the Cheetahs, but they'll move ahead on points difference. The Sharks are in third place. Western Province currently in fourth place. Lions in fifth. Bulls in sixth. Griquas down in seventh. So the Lions and the Griquas have both won 2 and lost 3 games. So opportunity for one of them to try and change that record. So if the Lions were to win this game, they would go into fourth place. If they get a bonus point victory, they could actually go into third place if they were to win this game. If they can get a bonus point victory as well, they can get a 3-point gap on the likes of the Sharks and the Western Province. So a pretty important match for Mzwakhe and Corsi's men. For the Griquas, well, a win for them could put them as well into the top 4. It would have to be a very big win, though, because they'd have to make up about a 52-point points difference on the Western Province. And not very particularly likely, but a bonus point victory for them could take them ahead of the Lions as well. So lots to play for the likes of the Griquas. I think it will be about 5 minutes' time. As I said, it is taking place in Emirates Airline Park. And hopefully we're going to get a really good game out there today. If you look at the two teams, in fact, if we look at the two teams, a lot of people are asking, how can you watch all the action? So if you are new to watching the Currie Cup and you haven't been sort of monitoring stuff like that, and you're wondering how can you watch all the action, then this is how. Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. For today's guide on how you can watch the Currie Cup. A lot of people around the world are trying to sort of find various different ways to watch the oldest competition in the world. And today we're going to be showing you how you can watch that from anywhere in the world with the use of ExpressVPN and Flow Rugby. Before we do that, please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. So if you're in South Africa, it's being shown on SuperSport, but it is on SuperSport Premium, which means you'll have to pay R1,000 a month to be able to watch all the action. And obviously it's also a 12-month subscription. And so what we're going to be doing is going to be showing you how you can watch something called Flow Rugby, or using Flow Rugby. Now, the good thing with Flow Rugby is I really actually recommend just getting it, to be honest, and trying to get a year subscription as well, because it's got so many different competitions. For example, if you look at this weekend, it's showing all the Super Rugby, it's showing the Currie Cup, it's showing the Six Nations junior game, stuff like that. It's got the Champions Cup, it's got the top 14, it's got the Premiership. There's so many various competitions it does cover. So what you're going to do, first of all, is that you need to get yourself a VPN, because it's only available in the United States. So you're going to go get your VPN, which is a virtual private network, and you're going to install it. If you get a 12-month subscription, by the way, you can get an extra 3 months free for Forever Sports supporters. So then this is what it looks like. You use the 3 dots on the right over here to go to the USA, and you're going to turn that on. And then you're going to go to Flow Rugby. Once again, it is in the description, and you can get a monthly account for I think it's about $30, or I think you can get a free trial as well for about a week. Or you can get the annual subscription. And it looks a little bit like, well, this is just the schedule for the weekend. And as you can see, going into this coming weekend, we've got Bulls versus Pumas there, Pumas versus Lions, Bulls versus, that was last week, so Bulls versus Western Province, all the Super Rugby and stuff like that, all involved this week. There's also lots of other international rugby happening, the likes of Netherlands versus Germany and stuff like that, all available on Flow Rugby. So it's a really, really cool subscription to have, and it has all the Currie Cup games on it. So you can either get yourself a monthly subscription, month-to-month subscription, or you can get a year subscription. Chances I think it'll also should have the World Cup as well. So it's got a lot of different tournaments, and it's one of the best ways to sort of watch rugby. As I said, it's got the URC, it's got the EPCR Challenge Cup, the Champions Cup, the top 14. So lots of very good competitions that they do have. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. But otherwise, we've got a step-by-step guide in the description. Just follow that, and you can watch all the Currie Cup action, which we will be live for some this weekend as well. And hopefully we'll see you guys there. Right, so that is how you can go and watch all the Currie Cup action. As I said, unfortunately, no sort of free-to-air broadcasting like that. But with VPN, you can go and subscribe to Flow Rugby, which also gives you access to all the Champions Cup, Challenge Cup, and URC action. So I really do recommend getting that done. We're about 5 minutes out from kickoff over at Airline Park. It's a stunning day in Johannesburg. That's pretty cool. Well, it's pretty warm actually, but not as I wouldn't say hot. And very nice dry conditions, so the perfect conditions for some running rugby. And both these teams will want to try and do that. We do have a poll running in the comments. Please go let me know who you think is going to win this game, as well as who you are supporting. So Mr. Rugby Freak saying Lions for the W, and I hope so. I'd really like to see, after yesterday's disappointment, which I'm still fuming about, I'd really like to see the Lions come back and get a victory today in the Currie Cup. And a couple of supporters in there. You wouldn't expect anybody really to be there. Most people would have made the trip yesterday. I don't think too many people would have been too keen to go across there twice in 2 days. But in terms of the two teams, we'll start with the home side, shall we? And it's a pretty good side, and especially in pack-wise. You've got Morgan Nordier, Jakob Asake, and Ruan Smith. It's a very good front row. Expect that front row to have a lot of opportunities to have a go at the Griquas. If you then look at the two locks, Peter Janssen from Fury and Darren Landsberg. Darren Landsberg actually playing yesterday, coming off the bench. You then got Renzo Duplessis, the number 6 jersey, Jared Keynes and Carl Smith. At 8th man, Nico Steyn, very talented scrum half, is next to Jure Claessens. Ilunga Mokendi, Baldwin Hansen, the two wings. Bronson Mills next to Renaud Jonker was also on the bench yesterday for the URC side. Tian Sonapul at full back. Off the bench, Michael from Fury, Steve Satoli and Caboose Bazenote. Very interesting to see Steve Satoli relegated to being a Currie Cup bench player. One sort of wonders if he hasn't actually elected to move on from the Lions, and I wonder if that's why he's not getting as much game time, looking at other players in the, sort of the meantime. But it's a good player to be able to bring off the bench. You then got the likes of Connor from Buren, JC Pretorius on the bench. Very exciting to see what he can do. Andre Warner, Morgan Isaacs, and Zeligan Stradum completing the bench for the home side. So a very young side. Zeligan Stradum, likes of Baldwin Hansen, Morgan Isaacs, Bronson Mills, I think. Who else? The likes of Joe Claess and Nico Steyn, also about 21 years old. Carl Smith, Joe Keynes, all a very young Lions side. If we look at the Griquas side, a far more settled side. In the front row, Kutzwa Dube, Janko Ace, and Jana Buerta. Then Derek Pretorius and Albert Liebenberg in the second row. Stephen Smith, Michael Miras, and Hanu Sergel in the back row. Johan Mulder will partner George White as the halfback combination. Watch out for the likes of Luther Obi and Roscoe Speckman. A lot of pace on those two wings. Eddie Bashir is playing it at 12 today. He's next to JC now. Lubabalo Dobelo, very, very talented player, is at full back. Watch out for him, because I think that he's someone who plays fly half as his primary position, but he's going to be one to watch for the future. Played junior Springboks at fly half. Then off the bench for the men from from Kimberley rather, Gustav Durant, Clevola Zamini, Junior Branda, Johan Retief, Neil Otto, Regan Aranya, Sango Kamlashe, who for me should be at the Lions. I don't know how the Lions have not gone after him on a permanent deal, as well as Sako Makata, the sevens player, getting an opportunity there in the 23 jersey as well. Here come the Griquas, who are the away side, and before we will then have the Lions coming out. And let me know who you're backing. I want to know where you're watching from and who your team is. Jakob Asake leading the men out there. And for me, I think it's the pack and the tied 5, where I think the Lions are probably going to have the most sort of ascendancy, or the biggest chance of finding sort of that upper edge. It's a very good tied 5, and then a very experienced kind of rest of the team, really, to be honest. So hopefully that tied 5 could start well and provide a bit of a platform for the rest of the backline players to really sort of get involved. Our referee today is Griffin Colby. The Griquas will be playing right to left. So Lions will be receiving kickoff. Nick Stay, one of the players to watch today. He's been in very good form, a very nice, exciting young scrum half for the Lions. I think that he's going to find himself in that senior side pretty soon. It's gone pretty far there. Early touch there for Jared Keynes. Good take for him under the high ball. Nick Stay had his first touch. Tian Swanepoel will probably be the preferred kicker today. He's got that very big boot, the Namibian fullback. They do go to Tian Swanepoel. You look to find touch, and does find touch. Decent touch finder as well. So pretty good extras to the start of the Lions. Nice start. Early set piece here for the Griquas now. Right, so first line chat for Janke 8. They go to the front of the lineup, pops it down to Jan Mulder. And first carry of the day there for, I think it's Hanu Sergil. Pick up a go from Luther Obi. And I pick up a go. There's Hanu Sergil again. Big tackle coming in though for Peter Jansen van Vuren. Was signed from the Pumas for this season. He gets up and makes another good tackle, but never back on side. It's a pretty stupid penalty to give away. Penalty advantage for the Griquas. Mulder going to the right hand side. George Whitehead. Going to JC now. Now Mulder. Whitehead looking for options. Goes to Roscoe Speckley. Goes back to Sergil. Whitehead to Eddie Fisher in at 12. Kicking him behind. We'll go into touch, but they'll go back for the penalty. This could be an early opportunity for some points here. It's right in front. And very interesting to see how the Griquas do play. They've got two playmakers in at 10 and 12, and the likes of Eddie Bashir as well as George Whitehead. So a nice sort of double pivot there for them.
Spread all around the country. There's George Whitehead to put the first points on the board.
Yeah, they do take the points, and George Whitehead will have the kicking duties for today. 491 points in the Currie Cup for the Griquas number 10. Pretty straightforward kick right in front of the poles. And he turns immediately, and first blood does go to the Griquas. Not a particularly good start for the Lions. Pretty poor from Peter Jansen van Vuren after making a couple of decent tackles to give away a pretty soft penalty. It was quite frustrating. But it will allow the Lions to now kick off and get themselves into the Griquas part of the field where they'll like to play a lot more of their rugby. As I said, the tight five for me, the big sort of draw card for the Lions as well, the like of Nick Stain. Renan Jonker in that outside centre position, also one to watch for, as well as Baldwin Hansen, who's a very talented player. Tian Swanepoel have kickoff duties. He's going to go down to the left-hand side, right into that sun, trying to put a bit of pressure under Roscoe Speckman. There's a big hit coming as well from the likes of McKendy. And I think it's come off a Griquas player, so it'll be a Lions line out. Very good pressure being shown there. And talk about a fall from grace. Very frustrating that Roscoe Speckman, who literally 2 years ago made a Springbok debut back in 2021 against, sorry, in 2020 against the British, no, 2021 against the British and Irish Lions. And then lost his contract at the Cheetahs, had a bit of a stint at the Stormers, didn't go particularly well, and now finds himself playing for the Griquas. And I'd love to just see him go back to the 7th circuit, to be honest. The blitz box really struggling at the moment. Could use a playmaker like him, you know, and he's still not particularly old. I think he's sitting at about 33 years old, around there. So he could very well still go and play 7s for another couple of years. So I'd like to see him maybe transition back into that arena instead of not wouldn't say wasting his time, but yeah, a former World Sevens Player of the Year to then be playing Currie Cup for the Griquas is not, I think, where his talents can be best used. First carry there for Kendi. A quick ball there, Jared Keynes. Big hit. They could stay looking for a quick ball, going to Morgan Nodier. They're working very hard, still going with Morgan Nodier, and spins away from the tackle. Very nice carry from Morgan Nodier. That ball coming in, and Renan Jonker. Nico Steyn, Yakubasaki, very nice pass. And Nico Stendel was cut up pass, putting him on the front foot as well. Penalty advantage for the Lions. Morgan O'D at first receiver. Ran out Jonker, trying the pass over the side. McKenna was running onto it, but can't hang on. Spills it forward. We'll go back for the penalty. And decision time, yeah, I'm sure will be go to the corner. Because unlike the likes of PJ Buerti, Yakubasaki, a much more accomplished line-out operator and should be able to set up a good line-out share for the Lions and get it a potential early chance at having a go at the try line. Nice, good tempo there, though, from the Lions, must be said. Good positive start from them. You can stay. There's a went from the scrum. That's intercepted. Really, really poor pass. George Whitehead, however, has left that behind. Luther Obi's jumped on it and picked it up. So decent set piece from the Lions, and then just pretty poor handling. Now they're moving back to Whitehead. Whitehead's got a lot of time trying to find his clearance. Looking down that right-hand side. He won't find touch, though. It's Tian Swanepoel. And I think it's Classes, actually. Listed high for Baldwin Hansen to chase. And it's fallen to Baldwin Hansen. Very good take from the winger. Lions back inside Griquas territory. Darren Landsberg steps off his right and towards his left-hand side and gets a handoff as well. Making some meters there. Backwards is the call there. And that is definitely a knock-on advantage. I think it was actually last player. Pretty poor from the Lions. Kind of just stopped playing and almost allowed Smith to grab that ball. But eventually going back for the initial knock-on. So there'll be another scrum. It looks like a pretty decent scrum here from the Lions, which is an area I'm hoping that they can dominate. They do have a much better tight 5, I believe, than the Griquas, so they need to try and put that to use. Ryan Smith, who's been all around the world, played some Major League Rugby, played some Super Rugby as well. Him and JP Smith have definitely gotten around the world. Ryan Smith played quite a few games for the Waratahs, 33 years of age now. Played for, he's played for the Canberra Vikings, played for Toyota Blitz, played for Brisbane, then went to the States for a bit, and now back at the Lions. Came to the Western Province Structures. Played for, he played for actually all 4 different Super Rugby teams at a stage. So very experienced tight head there. Then Morgan Deere, nice young lucid coming through. Decent scrum. It has gone down. Ball is available for Nico Stain. Goes to Claessens. Good hands there. Good hands. Tian Swanepoel almost through a gap. Now Nico Stain to Darren Landsberg. Good tackle on him though. Ball available for Stain. Claessens going to Ruan Smith. Offside there from the Griquas, a penalty advantage. Claess on the front foot there. Going to Jared Kate up against touchline. Does manage to stay in. It's done very well there. Good pass there. Morgan O'Dear. Another carry from him. Nice, good physicality here. Claessen's going to Bernard Jonker. Jonker to Swanepoel's trying to spin away from JC. Now they're going to go back for the penalty. Wouldn't be surprised if the Lions take the points here. Offside for the Griquas. You've got Tian Swanepoel with the boot. He's got a very large boot, so anything sort of within the 50-meter mark is definitely within his range. They have called for the poles here. So Tian Swanepoel waiting for his kicking tee. Kind of fallen out of favour a little bit as Tian Swanepoel was such an important player for the Lions if you go back to about 2 years ago. But the rise of Kieran Horn as well as the return of Andrew Coetzee has seen them sort of relegated back to the Currie Cup setup. But I also think that, at the end of the day, the Lions need to be competitive in the Currie Cup. So if you've got somebody like him who's a solid player, could be playing in the URC, and then one of the better players in the Currie Cup, it's not the worst position to be in at all. Especially when you've got so many youngsters in this Lions side. It'd be nice to have a bit of experience in and around them.
He once represented the West Harbour Pirates of New South Wales, Tian Swanepoel.
We've got lots of 20-year-old players here, the likes of Bronson Mills, McKenzie, Bolton Hanson, all very young players. Nico Stain, pretty good kick from Tiana Swanepoel, and scores are even on the 10-minute mark as Tiana Swanepoel converts the penalty. Lions looking promising with ball in hand, so it's a decent start from them. And Greek was just guilty of being a little bit over-eager on defense, straying offside. And 3 points apiece. As I said, lovely conditions, some running rugby, so let's hope this should be quite a nice, entertaining game. And the Griquas have won that back from the kickoff. So not a good kickoff there from the Lions. Johan Mulder on a bit of a run, eventually brought down by Jared Keynes. Tackle now coming in from Peter Janssen from Furen. Now Roscoe Speckman finds himself in field. Tosses the ball up a little bit loosely. Advantage here for the Griquas. And Mulder now going to Eddie Bashir. Eddie Bashir going himself. Advantage over is the call. And just as they've said, advantage over. Slow ball to Bruin Smith. Oh, very well held on there by Buerta. Buerta almost spilling in contact. And a penalty against Darren Landsberg for not releasing. And going for the line. That's an interesting decision from the Griquas. Obviously sensing a bit of momentum here. I think that's a bit harsh, to be honest. I think there was a bit of a release there from Darren Landsberg.
Huge opportunity for the Griquas.
Right, line on the 5 meters. Been interesting to see the Lions do contest. They don't contest. Lions looking to try and shove this on to the right-hand side. It's right up against the touchline. Really good more defense this, but they have broken away. And Ace has been driven out, dragged out, actually. That's very, very good defense by the Lions. And they got a penalty from it as well, I think, for not releasing the ball. The Lions want to take quickly and not releasing, so they have given away a penalty. That's really poor from Yanko Ace. There's no need for that, is it? As a Lions fan, I'm not going to complain. We'll take it every single day. But it's a pretty poor penalty to concede from just a bit of... just not releasing the ball. But a gamesmanship there from Yanko Ace. He's conceded a penalty, so it's allowed the Lions a free clearance. What a good more defense it is. Just driving them into the side. And Yanko Ace managed to come off the side. And he's been hard in the tackle and then just dragged out by a couple of the Lions forwards. So well defended in the end. We're in the poll there. And 57% of the votes going for the Lions. As I said, weirdly enough, the bookies were favouring Griquas quite a lot, actually. I think they were sitting there at... I think they were at 1.2 to win. The Lions were at 3 to win. I personally think those Lions side can get a job done here. And it's not gone in straight. The Lions' epidemic of bad lineouts continues. Jakob Osaki, who I said was such a good reliable lineout jumper, getting that one wrong. Very, very wrong, unfortunately. So it'll be a turnover ball. It'll be a Greek with scrum. Big scrum needed here from the Lions. Possession so far, 54% for the home side and 46% for the Griquas. Good scrum then, Mulder going to Whitehead. Whitehead skip pass out to JC Nell. Brought down by Renard Jonker. McKenzie going back in there, trying to get involved. Big carry and a decent tackle that on the big number 5, Liebenberg. And a knock on. So another mistake from the Griquas. So the Lions doing well to force a couple of errors here. Not been a bad start from Zwaki and Corsi's men. 3 handling errors apiece. So it's been a bit of a sloppy start. I mean, to have 6 handling errors in the first 50 minutes is not particularly good from either side. Right, so Lions to the scrum now. I'd like to see a nice big scrum here. Nice big hit. Try and win a penalty here. Try and sort of assert a bit of dominance. Actually, a very good hit there from the Griquas. Gone straight down on the other side, though, so we'll have a reset. Morgan O'Dear is struggling a little bit there. So we have a reset here. And a free kick here for the Lions. Lions opting to put that right in the air. Roscoe's big underneath it. That's really, 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 really good work from the Lions. Putting it high in the air, right up against the touchline. As Roscoe Speckman comes down with the ball, he's bundled out into touch. That's really, really good game management. So the Lions have managed to progress themselves about 30 meters upfield as well as win the line out. So it's really good game management this so far from the home side. Long may this can continue. Right, Jacob Asaki, where's he going to go? Goes to Darren Landsberg. Much better line this time from the Lions. And they do break. To McKendy, comes inside, steps away from one. The ball's been ripped in the tackle. They'll turn over ball here. Yanko H throws a long pass out wide to JC Niles. And a bit of pressure here. Bolden Hansen comes and throws him out. And then a bit of a fumble from Luther Obi. Really good pressure this from the Lions. Good work there from Bolden Hansen, keeping the pressure on. Now Johan Mulder pops it up to the big man. And Jana Boerta has to carry it up. Now he goes back to Whitehead. He needs to find a good clearance. I don't think he's looking for touch there, actually. In fact, he is looking for touch. It's a great touch finder. Interesting to see if they want to take it quickly. They opt not to. So it's touch halfway between the 22 and the 10. Whitehead can't believe it. He thought it was much further at the park, as they always tend to do. So it's been a good from the Lions, but just not particularly accurate here so far. I've had a couple of opportunities here. I'd like to see them be a bit more accurate from the set piece. Start bringing in some of the exciting players. Let's try and see what some of our centers can do as well. Another good take there, straight down to Nico Steyn. Nico Steyn going pretty flat to Morgan O'Dear, brings in Jörg Claessens. And they've left it behind there, and it's going to go forward there. So Jared Kane is not being able to take it cleanly. This is what I mean. That's now the second or third time they've had really good field possession, a really good opportunity from the set piece. Morgan O'Dear, it's good hands from him. Claessens there. And then just slightly behind Jared Kane. Just should probably still be taking that anyway. Right, so scrum here for the Griquas. It's a messy game. That was about handling error number 8. And Mulder breaking down the blind side. Then deciding to go to the boot. And Chance Swanepoel stepping away, running into Roscoe Speckman. Slightly isolated. Roscoe Speckman over that ball quite quickly, but conceding a penalty for no release. Trying to bring out those 7 skills. It's the exciting winger from Grahamstown. Was actually, fun fact, was actually the first person I ever interviewed. From a rugby perspective. The video interview with him back in 2016, it must have been. It's a long time ago, isn't it? all those years ago. He was still playing in the 7 circuits, and actually I asked him what his plans were, and he said that he wants to give 15s another go. I think he was contracted with the Pumas for the Currie Cup at the time. It was really cool to then chat to him in the press conference a couple of years ago when he made his Springbok debut. And a messy lineup there. But it will be another lineup for the Lions. So one miss there. Yakumasaki needs to try and tighten this up a little bit. Okay, a bit too easy for the Griquas to compete. And if you don't have a functioning set piece, you're dead in the water. And it's become a massive issue for the Lions senior side as well, where the set piece isn't really functioning. They're going to the back of the line out. Forced straight into the hands of Carl Smith. Actually, he manages to get down. Does present the ball to Nico Steyn. Yakumasaki going the pretty direct route. Nico Steyn looking on himself. Nico Steyn, this is where Nico Steyn is so dangerous. Nico Steyn through the middle. He's a bit of support. He's still going. Gets the off-foot away. They're just short out the Lions. On the doorstep here. Ball to the top there. Bolden hands are up against touchline. Needs to just come inside. Tail Sonopol needs to do well to try and keep this ball. They've gone straight over there, Mr. Ref. Ball is available. Wasn't the best part there from Jared Keynes. Now Duplessis, nice strong carry from him. Steyn calls initial break. Ruan Smith bumping off one tackler. Available for Nico Steyn. He goes to Morgan O'Dear. Morgan O'Dear steps inside, goes himself. Solid carry from the loose head. Nico Steyn going to... Oh, that's a pretty big hit. Coming on Mills. First game for the Lions. Now Ruan Smith. Nico Steyn going to Yakumasaki, deciding to change the angle. Obviously, call came from Renan Jonko, wants to come back on the angle, slightly isolated. 11th phase coming here for the Lions. Nico Steyn going back to Euroclassens. He wants to have a go at the drop goal. Why? Why would we do that? That's such... That's such a waste for me. I mean, you've had a bit of momentum, you had a couple of phases. You went through about 11, 12 phases there. Yes, maybe not too much going on, but just set up a couple of pick up and goes, get your backline sorted, get yourself a bit more structure, and then have a proper go again. And just throw away possession. We do not want to score. Also see a bit of treatment, just some blood in his mouth there on debut. The youngster from King Edwards. Turning 20 this year, I believe. Yeah, so just some repairs here. A bit of blood in the mouth of Mills. I think they're having a look at the tackle here, actually. Yeah, they are going to have a look at the tackle. Potential foul play. So you'll have a look at the tackle that has led to the blood there. So it could be penalty for the Lions. So it could be a bit of a get out of jail free after. As I said, I think it was a really poor decision to go for that for the drop goal here. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see what's going on. If the TMO is going to check this by himself. What's going on here, Super Sport? Can we get this going here? So I'm not entirely sure what the lay is here. We're waiting to see a potential review of a foul play on the hit on Bronson Mills, the 20-year-old inside centre. What's going on here, chaps? What's going on? There we go. Looking at the tackle, it's from Jana Buerta. Oh, yeah, cheers. Off you go. Off you go. Off you go. So upright in the tackle. It's head-on-head collision. He's got to get out of here. He's got to be off. That's got to be a red card. I don't think there's any mitigating factors either. He hasn't changed his angle. It's head-on-head contact. He hasn't changed his angle. He just stood up in the tackle. Bronson Mills is not dipped at all, and I think that Jana Buerta is going to be on the way out here. This could be a long game ahead for the Griquas. I'll be very surprised he managed to stay on. They're looking at this in real time. No, I'm sorry. He stood right up in that contact. He never looked to try and get down. Bronson Mills is not dipped at all. Nah, that's out of here. I'm actually just going to put the red card up there already. Direct contact, high level of danger, high level of force. I don't see how he escapes a red card yet. Ah! No way. No, I'm sorry. For what we've seen with red cards, that has to be a red card. He's led with the head. He's led with his head. If you look when Sazi Sunday got sent off, and the guy changed angle and he turned quite quickly, he still got red carded. He's had no attempt to get down. He's just stood up and tried to wrap his arms around him. He's led with his head. If this is not a red card, it makes it false of the entire law. Oh my living, that should not be a yellow card. I don't think it's a fair call at all. How is that not a red card? I'm sorry. I'm not saying I want to see a red card, but if you look at the letter of the law, I don't understand how that's not a red card. Well, they've had to make a substitution, and I think it's Stradham who's been sacrificed. So that Junior Bunda can come onto the park. I think Jana Buerta is a very, very lucky man. Big scrum there. Penalty advantage as well. I think Stain. Yeah, we'll go back for the penalty. I'll take another scrum. Take another scrum, lads. Look at that. Take another scrum. Yeah, I'll take another scrum. Good stuff. Right, so it's a 14-man Griquas. I think Jana Buerta is incredibly lucky. I actually don't understand how that's not a red card. When you look at what has been a red card over the season, to say that he's passive is a pretty poor excuse for mitigation, in my opinion. I think it's a pretty bad tackle technique. I think for me, it's exactly the type of tackle we're trying to get away from. It's exactly what we're trying to. That's exactly why the law's supposed to be there, to try and get people away from leading with their heads and making sure they get down. He just stood up there, head-on-head contact, and it's just been a yellow card. So yeah, I think that's a poor call. You don't want to see red cards, but you want to see change of behaviour. Big scrum again, penalty advantage again. Nicholas Stain this time with a much better And Tianswanapul's put it in behind. He's going to get there. Has he managed to get it down? Has he managed to get it down? There is a replacement here, by the way. We're going to have a check here. So I think Mills has gone all 4 blood. Could be a HIA as well. And Zedling Australian is on. There's a penalty advantage anyway, so we're going to have a look at this. Could be a first try of the match. I don't think he's actually managed to get this down. I think it was slightly heavy there from Tianswanapul. Baldwin Hansen, the Zedling Australia managed to get his hands over here. But whether he managed to, then there's a collision with the Griquas player. I don't think he managed to get it down in time. We're going to have to look at this. Yeah, this is the angle we want to see. Because he collides, I think it's with Johan Mulder. And it's that collision that prevents him from getting the grounding. So Johan Mulder just occupying that space might have actually saved the try. See, he gets the ball there. He's still got a lot of space, but it's that collision where he's trying to get it down, Oh, no, he's got it down. I think it's a try. Never mind. I'll take it all back. It will be a try. Zedling Australian. How's that for a first touch? Yeah, he's got grounding there. Try was penalty advantage anyway. So try for the Lions. Should be a pretty easy one to award. Given Colby's about to award it now. There it is. There we go. Good stuff. First try of the match. Zedling Australian, who's just come on. And his first touch of the ball. Literally the first touch of the game. He's managed to get that down and score a try. Really good work there from him, actually, with considering I think he bumped off Jan Mulder, bumped off Baldwin Hansen, but eventually managing it to get down and score that try. So the Lions get the first try of the match. Tianswanapul will try and add the extra 2, and then we have a restart, and the Lions are up against a 40-man Griquas side for the next 7.5 minutes. I think very, very lucky not to have seen red there, Jana Buerta. Good finish. Very good finish from Zedling Australian. Right, 10 points to 3. Good kick from Tianswanapul. And our Lions, unlike their URC counterparts from last night, actually need to make the one-man advantage count and put a bit of pressure on the Griquas here. They've played well. Definitely been the dominant side so far. But there's no point playing well if you can't get some reward for it. So big 6 minutes coming up here. We're going to try and score a few points. And really use that one-man advantage. Not the best kick that came from Nico Stain. He's only found about 10 meters. Bit of a grimace coming from him. He knows it's not his best effort. Good line there from the Griquas, but the Lions doing well to disrupt things a little bit. Morgan O'Dear coming with a bit of a counter-ruck as well. Pick up and go. Coming from Kuzwa Dube. Another pick up and go. Morgan O'Dear away to it. Had a good game so far as the young Lou said. Now for Shear. Mulder goes to Whitehead. Really good. Well done there. Turnover balls. I think Australian coming with it. I think Rayna Jonko stopped it. And now Nico Stain goes to the boot. That's a good bounce there. Whitehead. Oh, he's outside the 22. Let's take it back as well as the call. So that'll be a line on the 22. That's a very good net result for the Lions. Good kick from Nico Stain. Good chase as well. Come, got a bit of pressure here. Got to make this count. Still another 5 minutes left with the yellow card. And I'd like to see the Lions score at least another try before half time. We go Darren Landsberg. Popping it up to Jakubasaki. He's got around Yonka, but he goes himself to Jakubasaki. Saw a bit of space. Quick ball now for Stain. Darren Landsberg. A nice carry from him. Good work here from the Lions. Good continuity. Now Peter Jansen from Furen. Former Pumas captain. Stain out to Ruan Smith. Oh, that's a good carry from Ruan Smith. We saw a huge hit from his brother yesterday. Absolutely hammering Reese Ruddock. And now his twin doing the work today in the Currie Cup. Darren Landsberg. And that's going to be turned over. Really frustrating there. Darren Landsberg just completely isolated. Not particularly good cleaning out either. Yeah, not the best carry from Darren Landsberg. He needs to run where support was. So it's very annoying. And this is kind of what the Lions did yesterday. Just don't take advantage of the fact that they've got numbers. You know. And what should have been a couple of phases against a 40-man Griquas was all of a sudden now a line for the Griquas just inside Lions territory. I'd like to see them compete here. So Jan Mulder very flat to Eddie Fauchier. Interesting to see him being deployed as an inside centre these days. Whitehead going to Sergil. He's always a very good ball carrier. Good big tackle coming in there on Kudzar Dube. Jakubasaki making a nice big hit. Good line speed from the Lions. Not too much chance, so George Whitehead goes to the boot. Bit of a fumble there coming from Tian Swanepoel. He's got a bit of time to find a good clearance. Good more defense, and the ball comes out to Jan Mulder, goes flat to Eddie Fauchier. Very good more defense. A nice good tackle there coming from Euroclass as well. Now Oscar Speckman at scrum half. Right, Jan Mulder. Getting out success there with the Griquas, so he's going to go for the boot. Roscoe Speckman's going to give chase. Big hit kind of in the air. Pretty fair, all fair though. Between him and McKendy, the two opposite wingers. Now for sure. Long pass out wide. They go straight through to Obi, stepping inside. And Mills is back on, by the way. Ball becomes available for Mulder. Very nice tackle there by Carl Smith. Mulder going to Whitehead. Whitehead to Eddie Fauchier. Eddie Fauchier finding Sergil on the wing. Comes inside. Solid tackle from Mills. Good defense so far from the Lions, must be said. Getting him nice and quickly as well. Kudzar Dube. Big hit on him as well. Very good physicality from the home side. And it's been charged down by Nico Stain. Roscoe Speckman trying to step his way out of trouble, but runs into Jakubasaki. And that's really, really poor. I don't know who that is, but you've got to... Jakubasaki needs to roll away. So, come on, man. If you just allow him to roll away and then get back into it. So it's really frustrating because that should have been a really good passage to play. And all of a sudden, that's going to allow the Griquas going back to 40 men. And we're at 50 men rather. And George Whitehead's going to have an opportunity to have a kick a goal here. So we're going to move the yellow card Lions not really making much of it. Scoring the one try, yeah, it's converted try, so they have scored 7 points. But if Whitehead adds these 3, then it'll just be a net 4, really, whilst the yellow card is off. Oh, he's missed that. That's a big little for the Lions. 10 points to 3 with 7 minutes to go in the half. And they're going to get Jana Buerta back onto the park. Deep restart there from the Swanepoel. Dobela now. We haven't seen any of him, which has been quite relief from a Lions perspective. Good take there from McKendy, right up against the touchline. Is he going to manage to keep this in? Does manage to keep it in. Very well done by him. So Lions possession on the halfway line. Smith getting away to Rena Jonker. Now, there was no release there, Mr. F. There was no release there, Mr. F. Thank you very much. Good call. Good call. And they're going to call for the points here. So Tian Swanepoel with that very large boot of his. Right, so this to make it a 10-point lead for the Lions, who've played well. Been definitely in the better side. Just need to take our chances a bit more. Didn't really capitalize on the one-man advantage. It was 7 points, but would have liked to have got a bit more out of it. That's a huge kick. Goodness me. Off the bar. That would have been about 70 meters, by the way. That was absolutely massive. JC Null will find the clearance. A bit frustrating. We needed that kick to have gone over, but jeepers. That would have been absolutely huge. I'll tell you what, he could be slotting them over from at least 65 meters. So the Lions, with 5 minutes to go, would like to score another try for half time. I really think we just need to try and ride a bit of momentum here. We've got some momentum. Now you've got to try and turn into points. 7 points is a lead that can disappear very quickly. Well, take it from Carl Smith down to Nick Stain. Mills goes himself. Back from the blood bin. Presents the ball as well. Now Claessens. Long ball out towards Tian Swanepoel. Steps away from Luther Obi. Is brought down by Dobela. Now Stain. Quick line speed there from the Griquas. Darren Landsberg. Good leg drive from him. Getting over the advantage line. Stain going to your Class. Not too much chance. Claessen's going to the boot. Roscoe Speckman doing very well to get across there, but quite isolated, and around Jonker trying to go over that ball. Now Jan Mulder under a bit of pressure, but he slips the one tackle. He's eventually brought down by Mills and around Jonker, who's trying to hold him up, actually. They've got an advantage here, not sure what for. For sure. Still penalty advantage, I think, for Griquas. If it's for offside, I don't agree with that call at all. Oh, Roscoe Speckman straight through the middle. Roscoe Speckman needs a bit of support. And he gives it away. Oh, what a tackle that is. Goodness me. But then we're back to Roscoe Speckman. Needs a bit of support there. Desperate defense now for the Lions. If they spread this. Oh, that's got to be a bit of obstruction there, Mr. Ref. That was one of the best try-saving tackles you will see from Renzo Duplessis. Goodness me. Another penalty advantage here. And I think they take the points. That's not the worst net result. Roscoe Speckman straight through. Long pass out to Albert Liebenberg, who looked all for money like he was going to go over. But Renzo Duplessis, what a tackle it was from him. What? Yellow card? Oh, Griffin Colby, get in the... You're coming out with cynical. No ways is that cynical. One, not a single warning. Oh my, that is a dreadful call. That's going to be held up. What? How has he got grounding there? I'm sorry. How Jano Buerta has stayed on the park after that tackle and after one penalty in the red zone is a red card to the Lions. I cannot understand that. I cannot understand that. That yellow card is absolutely ridiculous. And this is going to be not level at half time. How have they managed to do that?
Unsuccessful with his previous effort. Penalty that one was.
No, he's missed it, as White said. So the Lions will have a 2-point lead with the kickoff to go. But I just can't understand that yellow card. This is pretty poor defense. To have so many players to be able to bring him over, for them to still get grounding is pretty poor. But I cannot understand how you can get just shot one yellow card. Well, apparently what's cynical, I mean, it wasn't like they were on a counter-attack or anything like that. So for that to be cynical, was it one penalty in the red zone and you're dishing out a yellow card? Jano Buerta has led with his head, gets over the red, can't understand it. Oh, what a takedown from McKenzie. Go on, lad! Lions have won that back. Come on, lads. Darren Landsberg. Oh, there's no way she was onside there. There's no way Dubé is onside there. Carl Smith. Been good in the lineup so far. Nice and industrious at 8th man. Stay popping up to Ruan Smith. Getting into the 22. Now Peter Jansen van Vuren. Met hard in the tackle. Now staying going to Renzo Duplessis, who pulled off that brilliant try-saving tackle earlier. And there's a penalty. And that'll be the half. 10 points to 8. Lions leading just with got 14 men there, so they'll start the second half with 14 men. Very frustrating. I think that's two pretty bad card decisions. I can't understand how you can let Jano Buerta off the hook like that and then make such a rash decision on the yellow card for Jared Keynes. I think that's, pretty ordinary refereeing from Griffin Colby. So that should be the half, unless Griquas, no, they picked it out. They want to have another line out. So they're not done yet. So the Lions can defend for another couple of minutes, not concede, or at least we'll run the yellow card down. I don't think it's the worst result for the Lions, actually. The Griquas are still inside their own half. Strange decision, because they would receive the kickoff in the second half. So to sit there winding the yellow card clock down whilst you're in your own half, for me, is a very strange decision. And the best thing here, that's a forward pass. A very flat pass. Yeah, I said Lions just keep Griquas. Good hands. Luther Obi get Roscoe Speckman now. George Whitehead. All pretty pick up and go there. Penalty advantage for what now, Griffin? There was no. If it's offside, there was no ruck. For what though? Well, you've just penalised us for a late tackle. How about a late off the ball hit there on Nico Stay, Griffin Colby? Do you want to get involved here? So the Lions have just been. They've just been penalised for a late hit, and Griquas have just come through and off the ball has hit Nico Stay. So just feel free to actually have a look at that, Griffin. It comes over. Oh, we're not going to watch. Let me show a replay, please. Jeez, like it. The coverage today has been absolutely dreadful. We haven't seen a replay of the late hit, and we haven't seen a replay of that. What is the point of having a broadcast if we don't get to see any replays of what's going on? It's been terrible, absolutely terrible coverage so far.
Confidence paying off thus far. Can they make it count? Base. Decision. Clean take this time. No rolling more.
Luther Obi, that's a good tackle. They're trying to hold him up. There will be a maul. And that should be turnover ball. Yeah, good defense. Good defense. Very, very good defense. They've held him up. That'll be the end of the half. They have also wound down 2 minutes on that yellow card clock. So half-time Lions will lead about 2 points into the change room. I'll be back in a little bit. Please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe as well. And I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Right, and we are back for the second half. Lions are playing right to left in a 40-man lines for the first sort of 4 minutes, really. So a big opportunity, big opportunity for Griquas early on, and need a very big shift change to the Lions early on just to try and get through that stage, get back to being 15 on 15, and ride the momentum. They've had 63% territory in that first half, so to only be ahead by 2 is really frustrating. Conceding late in that first half as well, as was the yellow card. Griquas taking a bit of a time to get back onto the park here, so yeah. So the poll is: will the Lions hang on to win? Please go and vote in the comments. As I said, let me know who you're backing. What you guys thought of the first half? Please do let me know. It's very lonely on the Watchalong if you guys don't interact. So let me know what you guys are thinking, where you guys are at, and what you guys are reckon it's going to happen. Second, Yana Borta coming out. I think he's very lucky to be on the park, to be honest. I still fail to. I look at it as a yellow card and still fail to understand how it's not a red by the letter of the law. But anyway, so he does get away with one, if you ask me. And interesting to see now how the benches will play its part in the rest of the game here at Emirates Airline Park. Lions right to left with kickoff as well. Tian Swanepoel with ball in hand.
In these competitions, which maybe you want to see in the Currie Cup, means that with the squads, the opportunities for one and all, which is very much up in the air.
Tian Swanepoel going very high, pretty central as well. And for sure, it's ducked underneath the tackle there. It's eventually been made by Renzo du Plessis. Made a very good try-saving tackle earlier in the match. Now DeBello, we haven't seen much of him. Good tackle being made there by Bryson Mills. He's been pretty solid on his debut. He had the number 12, 20-year-old from Kes, former Kes captain. Sergio there to George Whitehead. Pretty flat pass from him. Good offload there. Good tackle from Morgan Nadir coming on Yanka Ace. Now Whitehead, Dube, he's carried well, but another good tackle on him. Gets the offload away to Sergio. Good tackle from his opposite number, Carl Smith. And Yana Boort again. They offload away now. Halfway, almost an intercept. They Luther Obi down the wing there. Stands tall, does Tian Swanepoel. Good defense from the Lions, but the Griquas are progressing. But there's a knock on here. Turnover ball. Long pass out of Tian Swanepoel to Bryson Mills. Now the contact could be on. Bryson Mills going to the boot. Tell you what. That is a 50-22 from the 20-year-old. Come on! That's a brilliant piece of play from him. I'm not sure about the haircut, but had a good game so far as the youngster. A good 50-22 coming from the inside centre. That's allowed Lions right back on the front foot. They've still got... There's not 6 minutes left of the yellow card. It was 4.5 in the first when they went off. I'm a bit confused about the yellow card time. I'm hoping they're going to adjust it because I said it was 4.5 minutes when they went off at half time. So for it to be back at 6 minutes makes no sense. Right, Jacob Asaki line into the 22. Really good kick from Bryson Mills. And set up a good opportunity here. Griquas contested pretty well at the line up there. Right, so Jakob Asaki, Darren Landsberg at the front. You have Carl Smith, who's been very good. Another good take from the number 8. Looking for the rolling more. It's got a bit of a run on already. Good start here from the Lions. Now it's come to a close. Jakob Asaki's called Nico Stain to use it. Bryson Mills. Good carry from him. Quick ball here from Stain. Popping up to Jakob Asaki coming around the corner. So the tackle on him. Nico Stain now going to Ruan Smith, who's driven back. Nico Stain now looking for options. Goes to Darren Landsberg. He's always a little bit stagnant when he gets the ball. I like to see him actually hitting with a bit of pace here. Now Renzo du Plessis. It's a bit more, so I like the energy there. It's a good tackle coming on him. Bryson Mills. Good carry once again. Make a stage around Yorker stepping on the inside. Around Yorker trying to find a half gap. His legs taken underneath him, but he does get up and have another go. Eventually brought down just outside the 22. Ron Smith. Not getting too much gain on advantage out of the lines, but good ball retention here. Now Peter Jansen from Furen. Staying now going to Enzo Duplessis. Good tackle coming from Griquas once again. No, he's had a chance. He has to release that. He's slowing the ball down, Griffin. Come on, man. Dan Landsberg. Driven back once again. It's just no purpose when he carries the ball. Staying now to Ron Smith. That's a much better carry. Trying to get back over the advantage line. They've again lost about 10 meters here. Now good hands. Bryson Mills in between. Looking for the offload as well. He throws it straight to Luther Obi. Just hold on to the ball, chaps. And Bryson Mills has won that back brilliantly. Where's the reward, man, Griffin? Come on. He gets straight over that ball. Managed to effect the turnover. And then I'm pretty sure I don't even think he was onside. They can get pickpockets it away from him. That ball's out, chaps, if you want to use it. Now Luther Obi, not too many options. Very stagnant. Where's the defense here, lads? And Mulder goes back to George White and eventually goes to the boot, just sort of caressing it downfield. Jerry Clausen is going to get back to it. Clausen's on the left, right hand side there. DeBello now. He's up against Akabasaki, who stands up to the task, and they're looking to bundle him out. Does bundle him out as well. Good work there from Ryan Jonker to assist his hooker and captain.
Perception connection cancelled for the time being as the alternate tickets.
Staying. Good line up there from line, and he's throwing straight out. Come on, chaps. Really poor all of a sudden. But back to a full contingent so I can move the yellow card at least. Nico Staines trying to throw that ball back inside, coming off Jan Mulder. So it'll be a Griquas line on the 10-meter line. There's a little bit of pressure here. I need to try and just sort of tighten things up a bit.
A number of lanky individuals in this previous pack gives them plenty of options to line on time. Shea, the first receiver on the crash ball. Clarkson's clearly being targeted in that number 10 jersey for the Lions. Nothing like aggressive defender in the carry back.
Good carry this now. Griquas almost up to the 10-meter line. And they let the ball behind, and should be knocked on advantage for the Lions. Will be turnover ball. Good stuff there. Bryson Mills once again getting a bit of treatment for blood. He's been in the wars.
Neither side could be said to be dominating this match. In terms of possession or territory. Leaves it up in the air. So many Currie Cup matches are. This year, 2023, where these baby unions coming to terms more with balance in the UFC.
Pretty important game this for the Lions because they will be welcoming back a lot of the URC players in the next couple of weeks. So if they can get through this game and potentially next weekend, then all of a sudden they will be bolstered by a lot of players coming back. Interesting to see how many of the players they will look to use, whether they'll go the full URC side or whether they sort of mix and match it. But they play against the Bulls next weekend, and the Bulls will obviously be involved in the URC on the same day. So it'll be 2 weakened sides. Bulls will probably have a much stronger side because they've got much more depth. But this is an important game to win. You win this game, then all of a sudden, when you play against the Pumas a week later, you should have a lot of your URC players. Andre Warner back, by the way, on the park. Not sure that's the best decision. I think Nico Staines a bit of a draw card for the Lions. And a reset chair at the scrum. Another reset chair. Scrum's gone down. Oh, there's no way. How is that a... I mean, Jano Boerter is lying flat on the ground with his legs gone from underneath him, and he's won the penalty. Oh, getting on his knees. Jano Boerter is not even on his feet. He's lying down. Nah, I'm not so sure about that. Not so sure about that at all. That's come off the pole. And Renat Jonker. So Lions getting quite lucky with the fact that that George White hasn't got kicking boots on. Ian saying, do I cash out or should I hold it up for the Lions? Well, I had Lions to be ahead at half time, which I won. I've still got money on the Lions to win. I'm going to hold out on it. To be honest, I might as well. I think this game could go either way, so I think there's as much chance the Lions winning as the Griquas winning it. So yeah, I think be brave, to be honest. So I'm going to be brave. Put it this way, I'm not cashing out. I'm going to be brave and back it. I think the Lions can get a job done here. Shazai says, this is the first game of the Currie Cup. No, this is the 6th round already. And the overlap for the URC, I mean, they'll continue to overlap, but obviously, for example, like the Lions won't be playing the URC past next weekend. So they will, the final and stuff like that will be post URC. Griquas here on the charge. Luther Obi being brought down by Carl Smith, who's had a pretty good game here so far. Going down the short side again. Darren Lansman making the tackle there. Whitey going to do it. Good tackle. I'll tell you what, Renzo Duplessis has been all over the park. Oh, cheapers, Griffin. Now what? Speckman kicking behind. It should be gathered by your class. Going back for another penalty. Well, we had a penalty advantage. I'm not sure. There must have been a knock-on advantage then. It was a good kick there, so it'll be a line for the Griquas inside the 22.
International game, just one of the finest sevens players in the last 10 to 20 years. thrown into the seventh game on the field today. Watchalong did better. Gamekeeper will return to the 15-man game. Go time for the Griquas.
Big, more defense now needed from the Lions. Once again, they're pushing right up against the touchline. Be very surprised if Griquas managed to get this ball out. This is surely going to go out into touch. Is out to touch. Very well defended. The Lions' maul defense has been very good so far today. One of the few positives so far. There quickly over the Lions, and Renta Duplessis come away with it. Done pretty well to find a few yards. Now Jared Keynes, who received that yellow card in the first half. Want to go him back to Tian Swanepoel. He's got a big boot on him. Needs to find a good clearance. It's a huge kick. I think it's by the 10-meter line. It's a nice clearance there from Tian Swanepoel. Lions are just weathering a bit of a storm at the moment because a bit of momentum. Just need to stay calm and hold on for as long as possible here. Do I only bet on rugby? To be honest, I've mostly just been betting on what we've been discussing on the fan forum, to be honest. I've been kind of backing what Chris has been going to sort of keep up to date with what we've been discussing on the betting segment in the fan forum. So yeah, I don't do a lot of sports betting, to be perfectly honest. Trying to get into a bit more with Chris showing us the ropes, but a really good carry this from Tabela. He's such an exciting player. I think that they're wasting him at full back, to be perfectly honest. And then a knock-on coming there from the Griquas turnover ball. Morgan O'Dear coming away with it. Fighting really hard. Needs a bit of support here, Morgan O'Dear. Turnover ball, yeah. Darren Landsberg goes to Ron Smith, who goes to Jörg Claessens. And Claessens just tripping that over the top. Not the best kick, and not a great chase line either coming. Interesting to see what the decision will be. Yeah, George White, I think, is going to go to the boot. Game's just at a very, very slow pace at the moment. Right, Tian Swanepoel goes to the left-hand side. He goes to Claessens. He's got a couple of options with Claessens. Lifts it high for Tian Swanepoel to chase. It's been allowed to bounce. Tian Swanepoel will be able to get there. And he's come away with it, this Tian Swanepoel. Needs the support now. Bryson Mills getting there. Going to Darren Landsberg. Darren Landsberg to Renard Jonker. Jonker to Renta Duplessis. Renta Duplessis. And McKendy backwards is... Oh, come on. I mean, I don't think he's caught a ball here. That's so poor. It's such a good break. It's a decent pass in Carl Smith. How can you be dropping that? Who's on the bench? Bring him on. Bring on Zellinger Straden. It's a great take from Tian Swanepoel. It's slightly behind it, but you've got to be taking it. But it does definitely land behind it, by the way. But you've got to be taking that. I'll be putting on Zellinger Straden. I haven't been particularly impressed by McKendy. I think that Bolden Hansen had a decent game. So just scrum here. The Lions back in some better field territory here. Neil Otter onto the park. I think replacing Michael Amiros from the looks of it. I think Gustav Durant's coming on as well for Janko Ace. Yep. I need Lions to win. I need Lions to just try and improve my weekend after that disgraceful throwaway of yesterday. Need some good news today. Looks like a pretty decent hit there from the Lions. Big shot coming from the Lions. Big shot coming from the Lions. Surely they're going to get reward for that. How have they not gotten reward from that? Yeah, thank you. I think the calls come from the side. Good from Colby. I mean, jeepers, mate. Lions basically had to walk almost to the try line to try and get that penalty. Huge scrum coming from the Lions. Very, very big moment in the game, this. And Kudza Dube, I think, knows very well that he was absolutely hammered by Ruan Smith. They're going to kick this towards touch. Come on, lads. Need a try here. Need a try here. No points so far in the second half. Darren Landsberg. Good take. Good luck looking more here as well. Good looking more here as well. Here comes Bryson Mills. Contenders getting in there as well. Here comes Ryan Jonker as well. The entire Lions team is in there. Has to be. It's just come to a stop. Once is the call, just needs a second shove and they should be able to get over. Through the middle, it's going to be turned over. That is so bad. How many opportunities do you want to get to score? If you're going to start putting it everywhere, that's fine, but you've got to protect the bloody ball. So many opportunities the Lions have had to try and score some points. I mean, territory, I think, is about 70% almost at one stage. It's well defended from the Griquas, but it's so bad. I mean, who is that? To allow him to come through like that is really, really poor. Now, you don't take your chances. We're going to come a bit short here, lads. We need another big scrum here. I'd like to see a couple of changes, maybe. I'd like to see the likes of Zelling Australian back on. Andrew Warner, the only one that's been replaced so far. Bring on Steve Satoli, I think, as well, would be a good shot. JC Vittorius, I think, would be another nice one to be able to bring on.
Troubling trend for the rest of the season for this Griquas side, just not getting up the box right now.
Bit of a break and play, yeah. We are going to have eventually restart here. But yeah, Ruan Smith had the better of Kudza Dube, and Morgan Ordia is having a good time against Jano Buerta. So big scrum needed, but worst case scenario for Lions, there should be a line out at about the 22, depending on the clearance that Griquas do get, unless they try and run it out. Oh, cheapers. I mean, meanwhile, there's so much legal scrummaging happening from Jano Buerta on his other side. He's going down every single time. He shouldn't even be on the park, by the way. So a free kick. So it still will be a Lions line out.
Captain of the Griquas, finally the last years, two Kamlashe brothers on the scene.
Good take there from Darren Landsberg. Warner to Mills. Renard Jonker. Sangot Kamlashe is on. Very nice player. I really enjoyed his time at the Lions. Would really like to have seen that move become permanent. Could have been very easy starting for the Lions here. Good ball inside there to Tian Songpool from Renard Jonker. Nice carry. Yeah, good hands there from Saki. Good carry there from Jared Keynes. Warner to Claessens. Claessens to Mills. Mills going himself. Good leg drive for Mills. Had a very good game here so far. On debut here is Bryson Mills. Claessens not too much on. Pretty poor kick, but thankfully he does fall back to him. He does regather, so Lions do maintain possession. Darren Landsberg been really poor with his carries today. Out, offside. He's offside. He was never onside, Mr. Ref. Thank you. Jared Keynes. Somebody's down. I think it's Bryson Mills. He's been on the walls today. Oh, great little inside offload from Reno Jonka. Penalty. Got to take the points here. Got to take the points here. Yeah, it's taking the points here, Tian Swanepoel. Right, come on, Tian. Just to make it a 5-point game. It's a pretty important kick, actually. That's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good. Straight down the middle from Tian Swanepoel. First points of the half go the way of the Lions after 20 minutes. Good kick there from Tian Swanepoel. And I think George Whitehead will be very aware of the fact that he's missed 3 kicks. He's left 8 points out there so far. The Lions have left 3 points out there. So it would be even, to be fair, if they were both kicking at 100%. Now, I think George White has actually been replaced. Eddie Bashir seems to be taking over the kicking duties and to kick that out in the full. Yeah, bless me. So it'll be a line out or a scrum for the Lions. Back on the halfway line. And that's a big mistake from Eddie Bashir. That's a lot of Lions right back in, especially when the Lions had that ascendancy from scrum time. They get a penalty here, and Tian Swanepoel will be able to do exactly what he's just done. So a big opportunity here for the Lions. Penalty here on the halfway line would be exactly what Tian Swanepoel will want. That's the scrum we needed. That's the scrum we needed. Just keep it in. Keep it in. Penalty advantage. That's exactly what we needed now. Thank you very much. Tian Swanepoel, up you step. Take another 3. Get yourselves up 8 points ahead. That is exactly what we needed. Yeah.
They will be kicking themselves in the foot. 1 or 2 penalties, but kicking the ball out, losing its camera as well. Being put out of the fight. All they just needed to do is just stay in the fight, stay in the fight.
Come on, big kick this. Big kick this. Come on, go. He's missed it. Oh, you can't miss those, man. You cannot miss those. That's 6 points now left out there. That was such an important kick. That would have taken it away for more than a converted try. The pack did the work there, Tian. You've got to convert that. Right, JC Pretorius onto the parks. Caboose Bazade note. Steve Satole. Lions emptying their bench. Couple of players on for the Griquas as well. Looks like Johan Retief's on. I think Thebod Lamini's on as well. Junior Banda, I think, could potentially be on as well. Oh dear, that's a horrible kick from JC Null. Just grabbing it down the line there. And Renzo Duplessis. And he's lost in contact. That's so poor. Got to protect the ball here, lads. Come on, lads. Big scrum. He's totally on. Class operator. I personally think this man could be playing international rugby. Penalty and scrum. Yeah, and this is why you got to take your opportunities here. Could be 8 points ahead. Such an important kick for Tian Swampel to have nailed.
Inside center, JC Nell, number 13. Leaving Albania, the 21, standing furthest to the right on the wing for the Griquas, who set the round.
Right, it's a good line from Griquas. All that ball almost coming loose. Once again, Lions driving them towards the line. And Jakob Saki, the ball has come loose. Mulder goes to Sangla Klamlashe. Ball's come loose. No turnover ball. JC Pretorius. Now Mills just hammers it ahead. Roscoe Speckman, that's a great kick once again. Bryson Mills, I'll tell you what, he could be in for player of the match at this stage. Claessens and just losing the ball there to Samuel Club now. JC Pretorius away to the threat. Popping it up to Bryson Mills. Right, here's the line at the halfway line. Not a great top down for Mulder. And Eddie Bashir just tripping over the top. Well covered there by McKendy. He's going on a bit of a run here. Good run. Had a quiet game. Ball's available for the Warner though. Bruce Bazade notes. He's a big lad. His first carry. Now Claessens. That's Furen. And Renan Jonkers hit in the tackle and knocked it on. Just no accuracy at the moment. Zero accuracy. Just keep ball in hand, chaps. We've got 13 minutes to play. No need to play that expansive here, chaps. Kind of need to play a territory game. Kick him behind. Find some touch. Just pin them back here, lads. It's a 5-point game with 13 minutes to go. There's discipline here now, dads. Discipline. This would be such an important victory for the side. Gets us back into that top 4. URC players still to come back. 8 handling errors. 8 handling errors is unacceptable. They haven't taken the hit the entire.
seeking multiple gains.
And Whispers aid note. Penalised once again.
Another chance at opposition territory.
So I think he's upgraded that to a penalty, which is a bit annoying.
The chance count now. Another opportunity in the 22, another opportunity in the Lions half. They need a couple of points and they want to follow the result.
89 possession for the Lions last 10 minutes and yet no points. Well, I think maybe 3 points last 10 minutes. Yeah, 3 points last 10 minutes. Such an important kick that Tian Swanepoel did miss. George Whitehead has definitely kept the Lions in the game, all the kicks he's missed. So, Jesus. But, I mean, you want to find more penalties here. This game is not flowed at all. Kanglashe. Long pass out wide. Speckman, who's up against Bolden Hansen. Going himself. Bolden Hansen does get across. Gets the offload away, but it's going to come forward. I mean, I think there's been about over 20 penalties blown so far by Griffin Coley this match.
From the Lions conceded another opportunity from the Griquas. They want to make this work. They want to make this count. They want to get some points. They want to take some clicks.
Again, I'd really like to see a replay. We've seen no replays of anything. It's been such a poor product. I mean, how are you supposed to enjoy this when you can't, where a referee makes a decision and you can't even go back and see what the decision was for? Yeah, here they go. Here they go. Here they go. There's once. It looked good eventually, but now the defense has started to come through. I think Jared Keynes could actually have his arms on the ball. Then the handball does break. Griffin Coley running a nice little dummy line for the Griquas. I mean, mate, where are you? Jesus, Griffin Colby. I want to actually check to see if Ultimate Rugby has the penalty stats, because this is ridiculous. Big defense needed chat from the Lions. Will go himself. And he's over. Yeah, well done, Tian Swanepoel. You missed 2 in a row there, and that was so important. And all of a sudden, the Greeks are going to be able to kick themselves into the lead. Talk about throwing a game away. It's just so flippant classic with this union at the moment, isn't it? Second day in a row, we're going to throw away a lead. Yeah, there have been 20 penalties blown by Griffin Colby so far this game.
Doing what has been working for them. The good shot from the Griquas.
Eddie for sure now with the kicking duties. Lions will go behind for the first time since going ahead in about the, half an hour mark, I think, even before that. Does add the extra, so the Greeks 2-point lead. Tian Swanepoel going down the left-hand side. And Oranje has been dragged into touch. Surely, no, Jason Pretorius has picked up the ball from and gone himself. I would like to go back and see that, because I think Oranje is back in touch, to be honest. It's going to be a Griquas line out. We're not going to see a replay, though. We haven't. I don't think the replay function is working here. Van Buren's come off the lines for Darren Landsberg. And Mills has been replaced by Strayed. I'm not sure that's the right decision. I mean, Mills has been one of the best players in the park today. Oh, it's charged off 80 for sheer. So gone back to Griquas. And they find a bit of space down the left hand, right hand side. Where's the wing? Where is McKendy? What are you doing? Thankfully, he's throwing it straight back at John J. Warner. Right, Bolden Hansen, what can he conjure up? Getting up to the 10-meter line. Jonker ball at the top to Claessens. Good, well done, very done, well done to hang on there. Let's see on Swanepoel. Line starts out at 22. First carry from Buren there. Warner to Claessens. Claessens short to Renzo Duplessis. I'm impressed with him today. Still going to Renzo Duplessis. Still going to Renzo Duplessis. Up to the 22. Really good carry from him. There's no release there, Griffin. There's no release, man. For fuck's sakes, man. Are you watching the same game? It's going to be a long watch. Jared Kane's got a yellow card for this. See, I think there's a release from last year, but I don't see any release from Roscoe Speckman there. Signs 6 minutes ago, Lions are throwing another game away, really, and this looks like Renzo Duplessis is going to go off. Looks very sore here. He's had a great game, actually. Had a try-saving tackle. Not that we got to saw a replay. We've seen no replays the entire game. I mean, how many replays? I mean, I can count about 4 replays we've seen in the entire game. There's a break down the short side that we just saw by Gustav Duran. Probably one of the best breaks you'll ever see. Didn't see it again. Plenty of penalties that we haven't seen. Not been a particularly good production so far today. And it's so frustrating because if the Currie Cup's going to be a good product, we need your broadcasters to step up. You know, we've got to try and create a bit of hype, and that comes to a good broadcast as well. So it's frustrating that we haven't seen a better broadcast. I mean, there have been penalties which points have been scored. So game-defining penalties, and we've seen no replay from it whatsoever. Mulder very flat. Eddie for sheer caught on the ball. Good tackle coming in. I think it was Jörg Claessens. 5 minutes left. Lions need to get their hands on the ball here. He's not even involved. He's just penalized somebody who wasn't even in the ruck at the times, by the way. No, you know what, Griffin Colby, you need to go back to some amateur rugby. This has been a ridiculous, for both sides as well. It's been a ridiculous refereeing performance. So there's the tackle. Can we just watch the actual freaking event, please? Literally, here comes the replay. As we're about to watch the incident, we cut back to live. How are we supposed to see what's going on here? Eddie for sheer has nailed it. Right, well, that is basically game, set, and match. The Lions will need a converted try here to win the game, or just to try to level the game. You have to go short, chap. I'll be kicking this. Where's JC Pretorius? He'll be my person that I'll be back into. No, don't go long. He's going to go long. Why are you going long? Pretorius is around there. He does take it. What did I say? How did it go out? And taken out in the air as well. Caboose Poseidon throwing an offload. I'd love to see a tight head throwing a dummy. Warner, chip over the top. JC Pretorius is chasing. Bounce to the ball. JC Pretorius has come on! Well, what did I say? I heard it here first. I said, kick it to where JC Pretorius is. Then the chip over the top from Andre Warner. Scores on level. Goodness me. This would be an absolute smash and grab if they're going to win this. The bounce is always going to put something into contention. JC Pretorius goes up. He's got the skills. Manages to take it out the air, goes over, kick to come, 2 minutes to go. What a game this has been. Right, take all the time in the world, yeah, Tiansman. First of all, you can't miss this. Second of all, we've got to run some time down here. Love to see Jason Pretorius playing a bit more. We know it's going to take a bit of time, but such an exciting Sevens player. So much pace, such a good skill set. I think he's going to become a very good 15s player. He's getting more opportunities, though. They kick this. And he's missed it, man. No wonder you're not on the freaking URC side, you pillock. You cannot miss these now. It's absolutely dreadful. Well, the only option here for the Lions is to score another try because I don't back Chance Swanepoel to be able to... balls available here. Lions are going to go try and get themselves into the Griquas territory. Got to find a penalty or something because Chance Swanepoel has now missed half his kicks. No, Warner, we can't go back. We can't afford to kick it, chaps. Why would you do that? There's 20 seconds left in the game and you kick it deep. Are we settling for the draw? Is that the team that we are now? We're going to give them an opportunity to try and go for the win. He was going to have a go here. Now we must defend. What an absolutely idiotic decision. And if we can set a penalty, then they've got an opportunity to try and kick themselves a win. 20 seconds to go. The game is level and you kick the ball away. That is the most moronic decision I've ever seen from a rugby player. That's forward, Mr. Ref. And now we can't make a single mistake. Look at the pressure we're under now. So once somebody wants to try and force a turnover, but can't do it illegally, otherwise we can concede a penalty in a kickable position because we couldn't hold the ball for 20 seconds. I start to wonder this is match fixing from Swanepoel. Really? Eddie for sheer, almost a half break there. Popping up to Roscoe Speckman. Goes to McCarter. McCarter on the park. Griquas progressing as they go to their 13th phase. Big tackle coming. No sides there. Got to stay on side. Eddie for sheer, inside ball to Roscoe Speckman. I mean, what are we doing here, chaps? It's 18 phases now for the Griquas. They're not going anywhere, but the Lions can't make a single mistake here. Long pass out right for Eddie Bashir. We're going to run. There comes inside. Does make a few meters. And there's the knock on. Thank you. What are you backwards? Griffin Colby, if they win this game, that might be one of the worst decisions I've ever seen. Backwards. 22 phases now, by the way. This is the most ridiculous thing ever. If they win this game, Griffin Colby has literally just given it to them. They've literally knocked it on. Even the commentators had a laugh at that decision. Backwards. I mean, this is ridiculous. 25 phases, by the way, from the Griquas. Yeah, there's the break. Griffin fucking Colby. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I actually can't believe it. I cannot believe that a player has knocked it on so clearly. Griffin Colby has decided it's backwards, and now Griquas have scored to win the match. The exact same thing happened to Lunga McKendy in the first half. The exact same thing, where he left it behind, bounced on the next, and he picked it up, and it was blown forward. I actually can't believe that. Well, I'm going to end the stream there, people, because I'm actually speechless, to be honest. How people can expect for this Currie Cup to grow and to be something with the standard of refereeing is beyond me. That is absolutely dreadful. Well, people, thank you for joining me. Apologies for that, because, yeah, that's the most ridiculous refereeing decisions I've ever seen. But, yeah, we'll see you guys next weekend, I suppose.